Welcome to the Goonsy from Block 5 with me, your host, SJ. Just thought I'd jump on a little live, done it once before, see how it goes again. Here after Arsenal drawn 0-0 at the Fortress, the Emirates against 0-0, against Liverpool, yikes. Against Liverpool in the Premier League. We're going to get into that today. Look at our upcoming game against Portsmouth in the FA Cup. But if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, leave a comment if you want. All little things that help. Helps the pod get a further reach and helps the channel get a further reach. Also, other socials out there, subscribe to them too. Nice. But you don't have to. You can just be here enjoying today's stream. So let's get into the game. First of all, the lineup. Our lineup. We went. I said in the pre-show pod, this is the lineup we'll go for. Obviously, I knew that Saka and Trossard would come in after being rested against Brentford. Seemed like the most likely change we would make, and obviously we have no other players in defence to change anyway because we've got loads of injuries. And speaking of injuries, we picked up another one through Hincapie, who got injured yesterday. That's a shame. Another hamstring injury. I'm not sure what's going on there with the hamstring injury. Seems to be rife throughout the club at the moment. There might have to be some sort of internal investigation as to either training or it's nutrition. Something's happening. We can't keep getting hamstring up after hamstring after hamstring. Hincapie came off with injury and replaced by Lewis Gay, but we'll get to that. So I think this team was strong enough, our strongest. And based on it, I did think that we would, I thought we'd win the game 3-1. That was my prediction. Having seen Liverpool's lineup, obviously they had no Isak, no Salah, no Ekitike. So I thought we'll be able to get at them. And I think that I do think they're not the strongest in the fullback areas, which is probably our strongest area of the pitch. But no, we were surprised, especially when the game started, that they started with Verts up front. Everyone would have thought that Gakpo, someone more accustomed to being up front, a bigger player would be up front, but he wasn't up front. They started with Verts up front, which I think set out the way that Liverpool were going to play. Did they come for a draw? It's hard to say, but the way they set up, you'd think that they'd come for a draw. Sorry, just 1 second. The way Liverpool set up, they came for a draw with Verts up front, and what he would do is drop into midfield, create an extra man, and they pretty much didn't have an outlet based on that setup. Their outlets came from the wide areas, especially from Frimpong, who had more of the pace. Gakpo isn't really a player who runs in behind defences. He likes to get the ball to feet and dribble and create in that way. And that's how the game transpired. In the first half, like I said, Verts was there as an extra body in midfield to drop, and you could see what they were doing. They were trying to stifle midfield through this way. And I can't remember what minute it was, like the 5th or 6th minute. I think Declan Rice clocked on as to what was going on, and he made the most obvious run across the field just to take players away and give space for Gabriel and Saliba to make the pass out to Hincapie at left back. So our players clocked on early what was going on and how Liverpool was setting up. I think Mikel Arteta mentioned that in his post-match presser that they stifled us down the middle. They tried to stop us. They're the injuries, so you got to respect that. And like I said, Liverpool are going for top 4, top 5, Champions League. Depends how far it drops for us. For our league. The league's over for them. They know that. Let's just have a look where they are on the league table. I think Liverpool are 4th. Yeah, and going forward, they're going to have to do a rebuild. They will need to upgrade the defence. Van Dijk's come to the end of his career. You've got free transfer, possibly leaving. They need to rebuild. I don't know what that even means, Kevin. You. They're trying to get top 4, top 5, and this game didn't get a point. get their players back. They got easier games coming forward. I mean, the next game is Burnley at home in the league. See, so I'm not knocking their approach to the game. We did similar going to their place earlier in the season. We kind of played for a draw. We had a few players missing. Obviously, we lost Saka. We didn't have Saka. We lost Saliba in the first 2 minutes of the game. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to knock Liverpool for where they played, and we are a better team. We've shown this season we're a strong team, force to be reckoned with, especially at home. I think we had won 7 games in a row at home. So yeah, I mean, it was there. It was there. The way they were going to set up was there to be seen. The first half, the first half of the first half, I think we started the better team. A lot of our work came down the right-hand side during Timber, making those little invert underlapping runs. Was very dangerous. But it seemed like our final ball to Timber, or was it to Saka, was always overhit, and they were stretching to keep the ball in just by a touchline, and the cross wasn't the best because they were trying to stretch and keep the ball in. It happened like 2-3 times, to be honest, in that first half. The final pass, before the final pass, just wasn't really there. I thought Saka was playing very well. He looked very confident on the ball. He's lots of trickery with his play. He looked like he's getting back to his best. A few crosses. There was actually quite a few crosses in that first half. I thought, are we doing this again? We get into that kind of pattern where we keep chucking crosses into the box or willy-nilly without really any really proper penetration or aim as to how we're doing it. And that seems to be happening in that first half. And going back to the passes to the byline, we got there quite a few times, and it was our final pass was just not there. I mean, we were getting men in the box, and our crosses were just not picking them out. I mean, I know a lot of people probably pick out Chocore's why he's not on the end of them, but I think it's just sometimes it's pot luck. Yeah. I mean, here we go. I mean, welcome, Sly Boogie. Welcome to the chat. I hope you're doing well. You think we were shocking? You were too calm. We were shocking. 1.2 games from the worst Liverpool team I've seen in 10 years. Why are we so scared of Liverpool? I mean, if you actually go back, I mean, that's probably one of my previous pods videos on YouTube. I said this season could see how we flipped the way we gain points this season. In previous years, we was very good against the top 6, and I thought this year that we'd be poor against the top 6 and better against teams outside the top 6, the traditional top 6. And that's how it transpired. I don't think we were scared of Liverpool. I just think that you got to remember, we came into the game with an opportunity to go 8 points clear. Some people question our character in the past, rightfully or wrongfully. But the players had 24 hours to stew on that. That's added pressure. I personally think, had we played Liverpool first before City got their result, I think it might have been a lot less pressure on the players, and we might have got a different result. I mean, I can't say that for sure. But I think just that little added pressure on trying to make sure we get 8 points clear may have affected the way we played in that game. And we didn't want to lose. I'm not saying, you got to remember, a draw is not the worst result. Had we played our game first, drawn 0-0, and then City played after and drawn their game, we would have said, "Oh, that's fair enough." Even though I agree, it wasn't the best Liverpool team. I mean, let's just have a look at their team. They're missing their strikers. I'll give you that. But their midfield was still solid. They're missing Curtis Jones, but I don't think he's a star out and out for them. They had their midfield three in Soboslai, Gravenberch and McAllister. But let's see. Everyone's been having fun against them, and then we play them, and they have no attack, and we still can't get 3 points. I get that, but you have to remember that people raise. I say it all the time. People raise their game for us. It's a different game. It's kind of like a North London derby when Tottenham are playing poor, but they come against us, and it's just an isolated single game. I said pre-game. I saw people predicting we're going to wallet them. I mean, like I said, I thought it would be 3-1 based on the lineup. But you have to respect these teams. Similar to when we went to Chelsea and they went down to 10 men, people thought we should have beat them when they went down to 10 men. You just got to respect, like I said, you've got to respect these big teams are able to churn out points, churn out results. But, I mean, like I said, we had that first half. The first half of the first half, we were dominant, but we didn't get the goal. And we were dominant without actually creating any chances. I mean, in the game, we only created 4 shots on target, and the majority of those came in the second half, especially late in the second half. I think a stat showed up on Sky Sports in like the 80th minute. We didn't have a shot since the 44th minute in the first half, which was a damn indictment of how we played that game. But just look at the stats. We won on the XG. I mean, if anyone out there is XG merchant, we won on the XG. Liverpool had no shots on target, but they did have the best chance in the game because we had that brain fart moment between Raya and Saliba. I mean, who was at fault? In my opinion, I think. Do you know what it is? In some situations, you could communicate at the same time. Like 2 players go out for a header, and then you get people saying, communicate, but you communicated, but it's at the same time. I think Saliba and Raya, it was just a perfect storm. And they both got caught in it. So, I mean, I think Gary Neville blamed Raya for coming out. But the distance between Raya and Saliba was that short that it could happen. Raya wasn't wrong, in my opinion, and I think Saliba wasn't wrong in his action. It just happened that way, and I'm just glad that they didn't score. Conor Bradley hit the bar subsequently from that chance. So they had no shots on target, but they probably had the best chance in the game with that open goal chance. Sly Boogie disagree. I prefer to go all out attack and try and win and potentially lose and then pick up 1 point. 3-point risk is better than the draw, surely. That's our problem last year, too many draws. I get that. We drew 14 games last year. I get that. I get that. But we have to, you have to remember we came into that game with a lot of pressure, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have gone for the win. Personally, I agree with you. With that weakened team, we should have been more adventurous. And like I said, they had no striker. They were playing verse down the middle, so our team was easily able to push up the pitch. And you have Gabriel on that side to nullify Frimpong and give Hincapié help. But if we had lost and not got a point, you'd be more angry than picking up the point, would you not? I mean, Liverpool, a game it's not a game we go into expecting to win. And picking up a point, I'm going back to their team, and that's the reason why people, and I understand. This is probably the weakest Liverpool team in a while, purely because they're missing their strikers. But we've missed our players in the past, and we've never given ourselves that excuse. Like I said, we went to Anfield, we had no Saka, we lost Saliba, but we were saying we should have gone for the win. And that was Liverpool, that team that started the league with 5 wins in a row. Oh yeah, I mean, it's your opinion, it's how you see it. Don't get me started on that Chelsea game. Yeah, I mean, that's a distance game. That's a game in distance. And since then, we've been decent, in my opinion. We had a poor game against Wolves and Everton, but I think we've done well since then. Charles, welcome, Charles. People have to get the Thrashing Dreams. Just in the first place, it was greed overblown by our own fans. If I don't see a Thrash as before, it was way worse. It was a way worse team. Yeah, I get it. I mean, our fans. I mean, I don't tell our fans how to agree, how to think. We all have our own opinions. Some people, get a bit too high, a bit too low on people's opinions and get angry about it. But the Thrashing Dreams did exist. I think they did exist. I think people thought we were going to batter them. What was your prediction, Charles? Out of interest, just another comment. Similarly, Liverpool FC will have a way worse team in the future than this ex-champions team for us to idle contentious fashion. Yeah, but like I said just earlier, I think Liverpool will rebuild, and I think they're trying to get into that top four to rebuild, and which is why they set up the way they did yesterday. And they also had no striker, no striker, no outlet. So I think they'll be worse in the future. Is not quite true, because I think they showed last summer they can spend money. You know, they spent 100 mil on Isak, Verts, so they're able to spend money. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility that Mark Gahey goes to Liverpool over every other team. You know, because I think at Liverpool he probably has the best chance to start. City have Diaz and Guardiola when they come back. Obviously, we've got the two monsters at the back. So in terms of game time and actually progressing, if Liverpool get in Champions League, you might see Mark Gahey actually going to Liverpool in the future, which is, you know, the first block in their rebuild. So I don't think in the future they will have a worse team, you know, per se. You have to see how it goes in the summer. But let's see what Charles is telling me. It's true, a copy of the Anfield game, a moment of the game, and that too made like that deliberately by design. Only difference of time, no moment with two different styles in two different halves. Yeah, agree. It was a copy of the Anfield game, and I can't explain why we didn't go out and literally blitz Liverpool yesterday. You've seen in the last couple of games, Martin Odegaard has been back on form, and he is usually our trigger for the press. But it looked like as a team we didn't actually want to press Liverpool, which is weird because with no striker, they had no proper outlet, so we were able to actually squeeze them, in my opinion, but we didn't do so. Again, it could be by design. It could be by design. But I mean, let me just check. Let's just see what Mikel Arteta said about the game. Let's see what he said. He said, okay, on the game, we wanted to win. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to do that in the first half. We were much closer to that with the amount of situations and the spaces that arrived too. Normally, you have to pick someone in the box and it's a goal. That's what I said. I thought our crosses into the box were a bit unlucky. They kept missing our players. I mean, when Noni came on, he had that very, very, very good opportunity where he crossed it low and hard across the box, and no one was there. At that point, Joker is off the pitch. And Gabriel Jesus, just before the ball went in behind for Noni, Gabriel Jesus made that run towards the ball to come short, which he seems to do quite a lot. You know, when Jesus plays, sometimes you see him playing next to the freaking holding mids at times because he comes to get the ball and get involved that way. But we needed him in that box at that point. I think it was Timber in the box. Someone was in the box, might be Timber, slipped just as the ball's coming in. So they may have been able to go on the end of that, but we will never know. We struggled to dominate the game through two things. One, because we gave very unnecessary balls away, very unlike us. I mean, if you actually look at the average positions, it looked very different to our previous games. There didn't look like there was any connections. Usually you'll see what positions, you'll see like Odegaard next to Saka, you know, where they're linking up. You'll see Hincapié up near Trossard, you know, where they're linking up. Or you might see Gyökeres, he usually favours a side, usually towards Saka or towards Trossard, you know, where there's that link up. But the average position was actually very scattered, like everyone was playing their own individual game. And that's what it kind of looked like on the pitch, and that's why we probably wasn't able to play our game and keep the ball and result in unnecessary passes and the ball being given away. And let's see, let's finish that. And we don't do that, and you're not compact, and everyone's to drop behind the ball and through the midfield and back, and without any presence in the box, obviously. Well, that's why I just said with Jesus, you drop back, there's no one in the box, but they had the ball, and because I don't think they had a single shot on target tonight, but we struggled more to dominate the game and to be a friend of the opposition box. I mean, it's a bit disingenuous to say that they didn't have a shot on target. It's not. They didn't have a shot on target. The ball hit the crossbar, like I said. Conor Bradley had the best chance in the game, that open goal. Very unlucky to hit the crossbar and come down. But yeah, a threat in our box, I mean, is that a striker thing? Is it a final ball thing? Well, what do you think? I mean, let's see what I think it could be. I mean, the debate can rumble on with Jokeres. Every game it's going to rumble on to the end of the season, unless he scores 2 or 1 in that game or has more involvement. Let's see what Charles see that comment. We wanted to win in the first half, so the second half shows deliberate. We wanted to get that first half moment and shout them out because they're too tough run. I do think we wanted to get the game over quick. We started very fast, and then once Liverpool got a foothold in the game and kept the ball and showed they had had a bit about them, we sat back. Like I said, we sat back and we didn't actually press them and force them into errors. We didn't really do that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think the second half was deliberate. We did make the changes. We changed the whole front line, so we showed ambition to go there and try and win because he hasn't played in the last 3-4 Premier League games. He was brought on. We had Noni coming on. We had Martinelli coming on. So I think we tried to freshen up our legs and try to give Liverpool a different look in that aspect. But sometimes you just have to chalk up as a poor game. We just had a poor game. We was looking for a moment. We had our moment in the second half, I think, when Noni made that cut back across the box and no one was there. That's our moment. That's our one moment. I mean, Liverpool, I don't know about you, when Szoboszlai lined out a couple of free kicks, I thought, nah, not again. Surely not. Surely not. Szoboszlai could put one top bins and celebrate towards that corner flag. But it wasn't to be, luckily, for us. So, yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's 0-0. We've got a point. We're back 6 points clear. We got up next Nottingham Forest. We've got Nottingham Forest next, right? Yeah. I think we're away to Nottingham Forest in the league. Obviously, in between that, we've got 2 different competitions. We've got the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg. But just looking at the Premier League table again, look, 21 games played. We're top by 6 points. We've got Forest next. City have United. Big old Manchester derby. I mean, City are vulnerable at the back, in my opinion. I think they're easy to get out down the middle. They've got their defenders missing. They brought back their defender from Watford, threw him straight in. The confidence they must have in him. But, it's not going to be easy up at Old Trafford. Again, I think we play first this time. No, City play first. Let's have a look. I think City play first this time. Do we play first? I got 5:30. I know it's 5:30 because I'm not going to the game, but City play first. 12:30. 12:30. City play first. So I mean, again, that could be we could come into the game and City will beat us 3-0. I'm Chain Assassin. Welcome to the chat. City will beat United 3-0. I don't think so. But I mean, it's possible. United could roll over, but they got a new manager bounce. Maybe at home, the home crowd a bit joyous, a bit more jovial because Admirin's gone. So you never know. I mean, hope it's not 3-0. We can hope for a 1-1, but yeah, I mean, by the time we get to our game, we could be 3 points clear and needing a win up at Nottingham Forest. So, I mean, you've all seen online the old chat with that late incident in the game, the old Martinelli incident. I mean, let me know in chat what you think about it. I mean, I said he'd done nothing wrong because I thought that Bradley was off the pitch and rolled onto the pitch. So I was defending Martinelli to the hills. I was like, no, he's done nothing wrong. No, he's done nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until this morning I looked back and I thought, you know what, he's gone a bit overboard there, with that kind of reaction. It didn't look like a nice one. Probably ACL or something along the line, some sort of ligament injury. But when he fell, he was on the pitch. The majority of his body was definitely on the pitch. And then Martinelli's come, he's seen him throwing the ball at him, put a little knee into his back and to get him off the pitch. And I do think Bradley's made two little movements to get back on the pitch. but it wasn't enough for Martinez to go and push him off the pitch, given that, he's down in pain. But what I would say in that, a lot of Premier League players fake injuries, and it wasn't as if Martinelli was 10 yards away, saw what's happened, come over and done that. He was the closest person to Bradley and may have not really seen the full picture of the actual situation itself at hand. And it's 90th minute. We're trying to go 8 points clear, and we've become accustomed to time wasting, especially this season against us. So there's a little bit of frustration there, But yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree with Slyberg. It was stupid by Nelly. But yeah, Gary Neville, his commentary about someone should go and whack him. If someone goes on this Sunday now, and whacks a child at under 15, under 12, under 15s, but you should be able to just tweet Gary Neville and say you're happy. It's silly. You got to know in that position you got influence on people and not do that kind of stuff. But yeah, I agree. I thought it was stupid. Sorry, Charles. If it comes City with 3 points, and City would try 2 times harder. If beyond 3 points, like 6 points of that game, we will thrash them. Yeah, I mean, you talking about when we go to City later in the league, or if it gets down to 3 points at any point in the season. I mean, when do we play City? We played them, I think, April. If we go there and we're 3 points clear, I think it could be curtains. But I mean, you have to think. What was it? 2-3 weeks ago, we was only 2 points clear. So it all just changes so quick in this league. But the problem is we're in this social media world, so everything's just on you at every point, and opinion changes. You'll see. You could probably clip up every person who does this kind of stuff and make a compilation of their opinions changing left, right, and centre based on game-to-game basis. So City will try 2 times harder, possibly. I mean, they've now signed Semenyo. The window's still open. Will they sign more players? Possibly. That's what they do. They just have that capacity, that ability to sign players left, right, and centre. We're not going to talk about 115 charges because, we've been over that many times about the 115 charges. Martin is not stupid. Neither is our club. Neither is our club class this. It has come out already, but it's been an agenda due to commentary. I mean, I agree that he needs to apologise. He did. So, I mean, once he's apologised, he'll be dead in the water there. It's buried. He spoke to Bradley. Bradley's not come out and said anything otherwise. It's a heat in the moment. If you're not in that moment, I don't think you understand how it is and how you would react because, like I say, it's high pressure. We're trying to go for a Premier League title. It's 90th minute. You just see a player, like I said, we become accustomed to people time wasting, and he's right by the touchline. If Bradley had been 5 yards in, further into the pitch, I don't think we'd have the same reaction. But because Martinelli can see the chalk, he can see the white chalk, he can see Bradley on it, whether it be a little bit onto the pitch or a little bit off it, he thinks, okay, you're near the sideline, get off. If you're not going to get off, I will get you off. But yeah, I don't think our club is classless, and I think obviously Mikel Arteta said he's beyond that. Martinelli's not that kind of character. I don't think the media will let it be buried. They'll just keep rumbling on because that's what they do. Like I said, it is sort of an agenda. Everyone will want to weigh on it, give them something to talk about for the next couple of weeks. I think they'll talk about it until the Premier League comes back. Until the next big thing happens, that'll be the thing they'll plaster to Arsenal. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we've got coming up next, we've got Portsmouth in the FA Cup. Sunday, 2:00 kickoff. I'll be going to that game, luckily. What are we thinking? Are we thinking that we need to make some wholesale changes? I personally think we'll rotate. But you're looking at our squad right now. We're down to the bare bones in some positions. Are we able to rotate? I'm not too sure. I mean, Saliba, Gabriel, these are the games you want to give them rest. This is the game they would get a rest. But, Hincapié hamstring. I need the conspiracy theorists in the chat to let me know what's happening with hamstring injuries. I've been defending the club for the longest in terms of these hamstring injuries, but it's just a bit one too many of these injuries happening. Yeah, I mean, Portsmouth, I expect if I look at our squad, I think we've got bare bones. Is Ben White back? If Ben White's back, he'll play. He was on the bench yesterday, didn't come on. Ben White was on the bench. I mean, these four players, Kepa, Ben White, Norgard, and Marino, all definitely starting on Sunday against Portsmouth. All the subs that came on, all five of you starting on Sunday, most definitely. And yeah, I mean, you might have to roll out a Saliba and a Gabriel. I think Gabriel might have been rested, or maybe even Saliba rested, with Nkape playing alongside one of those two players. By his hamstring injury, I don't know how long it'll be. Hopefully, it's a small one, and he's back in time for the Premier League when it resumes. So let me know in the chat what you reckon the score will be at Portsmouth. I mean, they're a team that's struggling right now in the Championship, so I expect them to make wholesale changes because they're not going to win the FA Cup, So I expect them to focus on retaining their Championship status, given that they were in League One for quite a while. League Two, it wasn't League Two, definitely League One, and they fought well to get back to the Championship. Portsmouth right now on a decent run of form, to be honest. They got walloped by Bristol 5-0 in the last game. But, Bristol are a decent team, up in 10th. But before that, win, 2 wins, 2 draws. I don't think they're, in terms of their home, I can't select the home. Where's the home? It's different on a mobile phone. But yeah, I can't see their home form. But they've scored 21 goals all season, so it's not a team that we should be too worried about. And I think our rotated 11 will be good enough to go there and get us a result in the FA Cup. It's a trophy that I want to win this season. I want to win all trophies, as you all know. If we're just looking at the landscape of the club and this month, I'm just diverting to a whole new topic. I'm trying to think whether we need to possibly dip into a loan market. Let me know in the chat if you would dip into a loan market, given we've got another injury. Hincapié out injured. Do we have to go and look for another defender? Calafiore, pre-game, nothing was really said about his injury. I don't know how long it's going to be. Mosquera, again, it's a bit quiet on that. Me personally, I think we might need to just go get a Christian Norgard-like type defender, someone that can come in, sit on a bench, and fill in where needed. The perfect player right now would probably Kivior, That's probably the perfect player we can actually do with right now, Kivior. I don't think we'll recall him. I'm not sure if we're allowed to recall him, if that's in the contract. But from what I've seen, he's doing very well over at Porto. I don't think we can get him back. But then who do we get? We need to get someone who's probably Prem proven. We don't want to go out into a European market, bring someone in and say, we need time to adapt to the Premier League. And again, we hopefully they don't need to actually play. We just need them to play in these cup competitions. Charles, this pattern of Arteta big enough supporters that generate artificial atmosphere on selected games is getting turgid. Backfires every time. You have to change your style on that. I agree and disagree in that. Where I do agree, I think these big games is something that you probably don't need the crowd to get you up for. Especially the Liverpools, the Cities, the big Champions League games. As a player, you should be fired up for these games. I don't think you need the crowd to get you going. I think where you're playing the games where you might get complacent, a game against a Burnley, we saw against Wolves. Was complacent against Wolves. So those kind of games, those are the games you might want to do a little something to generate the atmosphere. Because after the pre-game karaoke, North London Forever, unless we do something in the first 5-10 minutes, the crowd get a bit restless, get a bit quiet, talking amongst themselves, and the atmosphere goes. You heard it yesterday in the first 10 minutes. We were singing our song, one league anthem, one at Lane, and it was loud. It was echoing around the whole crowd. But after we didn't really create any chances, it just kind of got a bit. The nervous energy kicked in. That's what I'm sensing a lot this season from our fans. Nervous energy in the crowd because we've got a bit of expectation. We want to try and win something. So yeah, I do. I don't think. Yeah, I think there are times you might want to do it. I think last season against PSG was one, and I did like it when we did it against Tottenham this year. But I think North London Forever should be enough to get the crowd going, get the players going, and the supporters. The thing is, you're big on supporters. You're not probably not talking to the same supporters every week because we've got our ballot system. Um, some people like that ballot system, some people don't. I mean, yeah, you're not talking to the same supporters, so you can't determine who's going to be in the crowd and what energy they're going to bring. What's their expectations when they come to a game? Some people like to go sit down and watch the game for entertainment. So yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Charles. I do understand what you're saying. I do think it worked. I think it's needed for some games, but I do agree that players themselves should be getting, they should be up for the big games themselves, not needing the crowd to be, as you say, artificially bigged up. Get Gay in and play centre backs, all centre backs at the back. Oh, as in similar to the way Man City have operated in the last couple of years when they played John Stones, Aki. I can't remember the other two, but they play four centre backs across the back. I mean, the problem with getting Gay in, I don't think we have the financial capacity to do so. Because we can see how we structured our Hincapié deal back in last summer with the loan, with the obligation for this summer. So I don't think we are in a position to actually get Gay in. Our best hope is that he stays at Palace, which I think he should. If he stays at Palace, his stock won't decrease, not in the slightest. They're in Europe still pushing in the Conference League, a competition that you think they should at least reach the final at a minimum, if not win it, given the level of competition in that competition. But he's got a big summer coming up. He needs to be playing games. We've got the World Cup in America. And I don't think his stock will fall staying at Liverpool. I mean, staying at Crystal Palace. The only thing that can stop him is probably injury. I mean, touch wood, he doesn't get injured. But if he continues playing his game, he will have suitors in the summer from here, overseas, and he get his pick. He'll get a nice sign-on bonus. So I think he's likely just to stay where he is. And I don't think we have the capacity. I can say that. I think that very, very confidently we don't have the capacity to get Gay in. Although it would be nice. And I don't think Palace would actually loan him to us this January. Unless we said, oh yeah, we'll kick you. I mean, we can. No, we can't. We have to pay a loan fee. Yeah, I was thinking loan him with a big fee, but that's a fee itself. Sounds like you were doubting Berta. Berta will magic up the funds. My view on Berta might differ to yours. I like Berta for what he's done. He's brought players in, but I don't think he's pulled up many trees in terms of what he's really done. Gyökeres was on his way. It was either going to be him or Sesko. Zubimendi, that deal was done in January. Noni, depends how you look at it. Is that an overwhelming, is it underwhelming signing? Norgard, I don't think that's a very difficult signing to make. Hincapié, that's a good signing in the way he structured it. And Eze, I don't think he was really on our radar. I mean, someone told me that he had to get the club to persuade them to get them to sign him because he was available for a long time. We was all aware he was available. He was close to joining Tottenham, and we snuck in last minute. I'm not sure if that was how designed on purpose, but I don't think it was. So I don't think Berta's pulled up any trees. Mascara, again, a decent signing, but he's young, he's for the future. So yeah, I mean, Berta's done a good job, but I don't think he's done a sensational job to what the level that people are saying or think he has done. I'm not a Berta hater. It's just, just what I think, So yeah, I mean, I'll probably do. Let's see what. Not amazing, but many times better than Edu. Quick question on the Liverpool game. Was you happy with the subs? The subs. Me, I like to keep Saka on the pitch as long as possible unless he's injured because I think Saka is a game changer. Odegaard, I'm happy. I mean, I can interchange him with Eze. But Bukayo Saka, he's a player that I'd like to keep on the pitch. No matter what. Find a place for Saka anywhere. If you have to move him inside and play 2 10s with Eze and Saka, put Noni on the right or something, I don't know. Do what you got to do. I need Bukayo Saka on the pitch because he is a game changer. In any given moment, he can put that cross in. He can beat a man, put something top corner. So I think where we're chasing the game, we weren't chasing the game, but where we want to try and get that win and go 8 points clear, I would have kept Saka on the pitch. Obviously, we were forced to make a change for Nkapie, Lewis Skelly, and just on Lewis Skelly, when he came on, I literally had PTSD from last season where he got ripped over the top. And that kind of transpired when he came on. He was getting ripped by Frimpong. Obviously, he's a quick player, but he was just getting done positionally time and time again. Frimpong in the second half had a good chance to either shoot or cut it back. He tried to cut back. It was a very poor cut back, so I was lucky on that part. But yeah, I mean, I think going forward, Skelly's very good, but he still has a lot to improve defensively. He got caught out quite a lot of times last season. I can remember PSV away, he should have got sent off in the first half. Very lucky not to get a second yellow. He got caught by Kudos against West Ham last season, got sent off in that game. So yeah, I think he's got a lot to do defensively to improve, but he's young, He's young and he's playing a position, that's not his natural position, He just done well last season and he's been kept in that position. Could it be he goes back to the middle soon? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I mean, been going for 45 minutes. Didn't expect this, I didn't expect I could jump off for 20 minutes, but I quickly say, yeah, Saka stay on. Taking him for 70 minutes, agreed. Many people say Mourinho should have been on the pitch at some point. You know what? Mourinho is a goal getter. I do actually understand that. Mourinho is a goal getter. Gabriel Jesus looked like he's gone back to his old ways, dropping deep, just losing the ball, just giving away needless fouls, which is something he does after a while, But the problem was, because Gyökeres wasn't really, tearing it up, we just thought, it's Jesus, he's the answer. It's probably the same with Havertz. I see a lot of people saying, I can't wait till Havertz come back. But is Havertz really going to be the answer when he comes back? If Havertz comes back and doesn't score 2 goals or 3 goals, we're going to be in the same position. Same position, just moaning about our strikers over and over. But Mourinho, he's got that body of work. He's a game changer. So I do understand possibly saying, yeah, we should have bought a Mourinho in some capacity, whether it be in the midfield or up top. But yeah, I agree. I would have kept Saka on. He's our best player. So you got to keep your best players on the pitch, unless there's an injury, but it didn't look like it. But fresh legs, I guess. And Noni's been pretty decent since he came back from injury. Played well against Club Brugge. I thought he done well against Palace in the Cup in bits as well. And he had that decent first half against Bournemouth the other day. So, you got to give the squad a chance. Just didn't work out on the day. Another day, that Noni cutback gets put in by someone and Noni's a hero. Well, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully we beat Portsmouth in the FA Cup and progress. If you're around at Portsmouth and see me, say well gone. Until then, hope everyone has a blessed weekend. Up the Gunners, come on you Gunners. All the best.